Hi everybody, another emergency update. It's hard to have a day off in this game, I tell you. So, sorry if the lighting's a bit weird in this. It's because it's quite late in the day and it's not my usual spot and so on. I've got new cards. Thank you, Cheryl Blossom. These are the Celtic Tarot. So I'm going to try them out today. I'm so excited. They might take me a bit longer because it's not that automatic visual cue that I have with Rider-Waite. So I'll be using both packs in the next little while. So what I wanted to cover today was what's next in line for Michael Cohen. How good is that? You gotta love it. And the other one, which is a bit more worrying, will Trump fire Rosenstein? Now with the Cohen thing, this was obviously instigated by findings that Mueller's team had come across, but in his wisdom it was the Southern District of New York who actually carried out the raid and where the case will be handled. So that again, should anything happen to Mueller, it goes ahead regardless. Now, I don't have to tell you guys, this is the closest it's got to the mad one at the top. This is very serious stuff. This is right in the bowels of Trump's financial world. And I think one of Trump's big fears, funnily enough, is that by going through his finances with a fine-tooth comb, they're going to find out he's not actually as rich as he says he is. In fact, he was described by one genuine billionaire as a clown who just exists on credit. So we will see what is going to turn up with Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen and the raid. Michael Cohen. Now, as you know, I've read him recently, said this was most likely to happen, so this is an update on now. Okay. Alright, the new beautiful Celtic cards. Come on down. Okay, the first three. In the middle, the Chariot. Hope you can see it. Okay. Now with the Chariot, as we know, it's about someone who goes forward in a foolhardy fashion, in a very rushed fashion, and isn't always aware of the consequences. Now, since the Stormy Daniels stuff, and more recently in the last couple of days, more and more detail has come out about how Michael Cohen operates, and it's not a nice picture. This is a guy who threatens and bullies. In fact, he makes Trump look amateurish with his threatening and bullying. He's a standover guy. He's really not nice. So he's the Chariot here in the middle. At its most basic, the Chariot has, like all the cards, has a series of interpretations as people become more evolved. But he's represented by the Chariot in quite a crude way. And now, if you look at the imagery in this Celtic deck, the horses are going in opposite directions. So in other words, his brain is splattered as we speak. The essence of this reading, the Two of Pentacles, money, that's the one in the Rider-Waite, that's the jugular, the juggler card, maybe the jugular, and the card of the manipulator. So you have someone who's a bully, who doesn't care about the impact on people and manipulates people. Let's do it. His cross to bear, the King of Swords coming at you, that would be Muller stroke whoever the judicial body is in the Southern District of New York, coming after his lily-livered ass. The root of this reading, Heartbreak Hotel. Oh, really, really. Oh, for the first reading for the Celtic Cross so far, the Celtic cards in the Celtic Cross, I'm liking it a lot. That's the one with the heart with the 3 swords. Okay, so 3 people involved, 3 people going down, 3 people immediately affected, 3 people are in big strife in relation to Michael Cohen. Okay, a little further back, yes, this is in his more recent past. He was the star. He was the star of Trump's mini world. Why people thought Trump Tower and Trump World had anything to offer them, I've no idea, but he was the star. He was the baby edition of Roy Cohen. So no one could quite match Roy for vulgar, bombastic, absolute, knuckle-dragging lawyer behaviour. But Cohen gave it a good shot, probably modelled himself a lot on the esteemed Roy. There you go. Over the lot of him, he is not going to emerge from this very well at all. So this is the 5 of Swords. It's the card where there's been victories in the past, but no one wants to work with this guy. Is there a pattern with Trump not being able to get a lawyer, and Cohen has a lawyer, has a lawyer, he's going to need more than one. No one's going to want to touch this either. People do not like this man. There will be no shortage of witnesses. Does anyone know, was he the one who threatened Stormy in the car park? Was it him directly, or did he send a goon? Does anyone know? Get back to me. This is not a popular guy, and now there'll be no one who'll have a drink with him in any of the 50 states, I would suggest. So, coming out a bit beyond that, oh, ouch, the devil. Okay, so this reading, if I knew nothing about this man, I'd be very uncomfortable with this reading being in the same room as the person. This is about swords and betrayals and stabbings, the devil. If your question is, will he turn on Trump? What do you reckon? I think it'll take a matter of minutes. Someone said he'd fold like a deck of cheap cards. That's quite a good image to have. What does he think of himself? You go, he's the King of Pentacles. It's okay, it's okay. I've got shitloads of money. I can buy my way out of this. It's okay. That's why I've got money. Money's going to get me out of this. Thank God I've got money. And I'm going to spend a lot of money and it'll be okay. No, it won't, pet. Sorry, love. I've got the worst possible news for you. Money's not going to matter a shit with this. You are so deeply in this. Oh, Lordy. He's got on the other side of that, he's got the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Do I hear the dulcet sound of Rebecca Mercer coming in to save her little Michael? Maybe, maybe not. It's actually about time that Rebecca Mercer backed off, because she could have her own issues. I must do another reading on Rebecca. So he's got his own money. This is what he's thinking about now, right? This is his internal hell in his head. Money, money, money. Have I got enough money? I'm sure I've got enough money. I need enough money. I need more money. So I think he's been on the newly acquired cell phone that he bought at Walmart or wherever to Rebecca. I wonder if she's picking up. No. So, money. Okay, the Ace of Wands, the Fred Flintstone card in the Rider-Waite, pure, raw energy. So, this is in the position of atmosphere and environment. Michael Cohen, I would say, hasn't slept for a couple of days. May never sleep again. He might be breaking Guinness World Records for not sleeping. He's just going at this like a bull at the gate. He is in a desperate panic. Oh, coming up. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ace, quintessential energy of power, willpower, trying to drive it through, clubbing people if they don't help him, and the sword of truth coming at him. It could, in fact, impale him in this context. I can't stress enough, I'm not exaggerating with this reading, I didn't expect it to be good. How could it be good? But this is really volatile. There's a lot of heat to it. There's a lot of savagery to it. Ooh. Oh, and further, that would be more pain. The Six of Swords going away. He's having Paul Manafort fantasies. He's thinking, have I got enough money for a new passport? Maybe I shouldn't fight it. It's like a cokehead panic. He's not just thinking things through in a really pressing way. He's in a gut-wrenching panic. Oh, God. Well, I wouldn't like to be in his loafers, is all I could say. Michael Cohen. I didn't get as far because I want to get on to Rosenstein. Will he spill the beans on Trump? I suppose I should. Get you out of your misery. But I'd be very surprised if not. So just give me a moment to put all these back, give them a shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. See, he's got everything. He's got all the paperwork, the taxes, all the illicit stuff, the trail of emails. Oh, Lord. Okay. Michael Cohen. Is Cohen going to turn on Trump? Is Cohen going to turn on? Is Cohen going to turn on Trump? So let's have a quick look here. Ooh la la, again, the Six of Swords. Going away. Now, there's another meaning of going away, which is going away to prison. So he might be going away in that sense. He is now in a different world than he's ever encountered before. He's always been the bully boy. Now, I take this, given that it's turned up twice, in that meaning. Do you want to go to jail, Mr. Cohen, or would you rather have a conversation about your client? So that's what he will be thinking about. The lovers, yes, his love affair with the Donald. Okay. So the love affair in the past, as of 2 days ago, is so over. The Hanged Man, he has to make a decision. He feels he's being sacrificed to his relationship with Donald. I don't know why he thought it would just roll over and not touch him. It's come to get him, and he's horrified that he is the sacrificial lamb. The root of the reading, what it'll do, the 5 of Swords. This is the person who turns his back on others, the one that other people don't like. I'd have to say, of course, he's going to reveal it all. And the Page of Wands, energy and fire, right on top, which is with all the will in the world, because it's sitting on top of these swords. I don't know how to express this, it's more an intuitive feel. He's regressing. He is so traumatized by this, he's actually regressing. He's behaving like if you were in his immediate social world, you'd be getting these manic phone calls, and he's behaving like a 14-year-old. He's actually not thinking like a middle-aged, experienced lawyer. He's panicking like a teenager who's been caught having stolen Dad's car, taken it for a spin and pranged it. He can't think. Swords are also the mind, and they're all mixed up and swirling, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a mess. He is very vulnerable to being questioned, and I don't think he'd hesitate to dump Trump in it. Couldn't happen to a nicer bloke, either of them, really. All right, now, Rosenstein, or is it Stein? I think it should be Stein. Rosenstein. Not Rosenstein. So, you'd have to say he deserves a Purple Heart. He has been so brave okaying some of these recent warrants. And I'm sure he thinks each warrant is my last. So the question now is, will Trump fire Rosenstein? Will Trump fire Rosenstein? All right, what's going to happen for Rod Rosenstein? Oh. Okay, he's got very strong cards. These first 3 cards are all major arcana. Okay, there's 22 major arcana cards in a deck of 78, and he's got 3 of them right here. Boom, boom, boom. He's got the Sun in the center. Okay, meaning he will survive and he will prevail. Don't know yet about his actual job status, but an awesome central card. At the root, he has the Empress, which is, it's interesting, he's got protective female energy going on here. So the Empress is a very strong card of protection generally. Also fertility. So if it was a woman, you might be talking about pregnancy, but in the case of Rosenstein, what he started with this Sun energy is fertile. In other words, the good seeds he's sown in relation to this whole debacle are going to continue to grow. So that's very heartening. Across that, not surprisingly, the High Priestess, which in this case I take to read as hidden agendas. People are working against him, but he has this hugely strong core energy. Another major arcana. I mean, go Rod Rosenstein. Like, he looks like an unassuming guy, but you'd have to say, looking at this guy is the real powerhouse. Isn't it interesting how powerful men come in all sorts of shapes and sizes? And what I'm getting from this, I have newfound respect for him. He is amazing. So he has done what he can do, the hangman, looking for different perspectives, but also there's a sacrificial quality here, but a willing sacrifice. He is saying to himself and Mullah and those nearest and dearest, if I'm sacrificed, so be it. I've got things in place. It will go ahead. So he knows he could be sacked by tweet an hour from now, and he's known that for a while, and he's prepared. Everything he's done, he has absolutely done by the book and with courage, and it will stand up. Okay, the Five of Pentacles. So this is in the recent past here. This is the card. He's been out in the cold. This is not surprising where he works. He was deputised by Sessions, who is probably one of those, so he's almost like a Moriarty figure, Sessions. I don't remember, I don't recall. I'm sorry, I met with 87 Russians and I didn't write it down, so how could I be expected to remember? Sessions and others have poisoned the atmosphere around his work, but you know what? He doesn't care because he has the sun. It's also in his past. What I'm getting here, there's a sense almost as things are getting to the pointy end, and we've still got months to play out. Don't think it's all going to be over by next Friday at 4, troops. It's still going to play out. But I get the sense Rosenstein is almost relieved at this stage. Yeah. Over the lot is the Hierophant, the system. I think he was much more worried before. I think he was much more worried 6 months ago, 8 months ago. He was much more worried 2 months ago. He was really feeling the pressure. And he's made the decision because he's so hugely respected by those who matter to him, as opposed to drongos and dickheads that he works with. That's given him the energy and the courage and his faith in the system. He's now like a status, almost like a whistleblower. He's just going to keep issuing whatever warrants Mueller needs until he goes. He almost doesn't care anymore. They've got to the point now where it's okay, viewers. It doesn't matter what happens. I mean, of course it matters. It matters hugely. But it doesn't mean, the investigation will be compromised or stunted. They've got it to that point, and I think he's immensely relieved. Coming up for him, justice. Awesome. I'll just move on now because this is longer than my usual readings. This is such a powerful reading. I'm totally riveted by it. What does he think for himself and of himself? The Ten of Cups, emotional rewards for what he is doing. Even though this is the card of money, you don't stick your neck on a chopping block like he's done again and again in return for greasy, filthy lucre. Muller's not in it for the money. Rosenstein's not in it for the money. He will make money, but that's not what it's about. It's about the emotional rewards. Because he believes in the system. Because he believes in justice. That's where he gets his rewards. So what's working against him is the Five of Cups, disappointment. I don't think it's his disappointment with all these other hugely positive cards. I think it was disappointment on some level that it's come to that. It's right next to the Hierophant, right? So part of him who really cares about the pillars of American justice, he's obviously driven by justice, There's part of him that still aches for the status of America now. But he's done his bit. He has so done his bit. Okay, the environment, the swords are out for him. The Three of Swords, that's not surprising. It's right under the hidden agendas. You can imagine. You can imagine the swords. So he is so strong. Coming up for him, the world. And as I often say, the world is watching. But the world also has another meaning in tarot, which is the end of a cycle. It's come to a huge, well, it's coming to, because this is future, it's coming to the end of the cycle. So that is yet another major arcana card. So that makes 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 11 cards are major arcana. He has the angels on his side. I am in awe of Rosenstein. Didn't give him a thought much until doing this. He is the unsung hero of all of this. Muller couldn't have got all he'd got without Rosenstein being as brave as he is. I applaud you. Wow. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this, everybody. Keep the comments rolling in. Thanks so much. Bye.